Hey, this is Phil and it's your Friday video update. So take a look at this picture. Yes, that's me receiving the trophy for winning the Junior Achievement Bowl-a-thon that I participated in last night. As a group, we raised over $15,000 for Junior Achievement of Greater Washington, a great organization, and if you don't know anything about it, I encourage you to check it out. Now on with the show. So the CFPB put out a little announcement yesterday to clarify some information that's been maybe misinterpreted on the street regarding the new TRID changes and what would and would not impact a new 3-day waiting period on the new closing disclosure. So I wanted to quickly go over that with you, and I've provided a link to that CFPB announcement there. If you want to read it more thoroughly, it's right there for you to read. But here's the crux of it. There are three main things or reasons why there would be a new 3-day waiting period once a closing disclosure has been disclosed to a client. The first is a change in the APR. If the APR on a fixed rate loan goes up by more than 1/8%, or on an adjustable rate mortgage by more than 1/4%, there will be a new 3-day waiting period from the time that the new closing disclosure is given to the client. Two, if a prepayment penalty is added to a loan, that's not going to happen, at least to us, because we don't have any prepayment penalty loans. And then lastly, if the basic structure of the loan changes, so you go from a fixed rate to an ARM or an ARM to a fixed rate, that would require a new 3-day waiting period from the closing disclosure. Now, there are things that can happen within the 3 days prior to closing, or the day before closing, let's say on a walkthrough, or the day of, that wouldn't impact that. General changes to an additional closing cost credit or some things like that will require some new, everything to be updated, but wouldn't necessarily impact the closing. The next thing would be if there's changes to payments made at closing for escrows or things like that. Generally, that's not going to, real estate commissions, I should say, and so forth. That's not going to have an impact per se. But I wanted to make this note. Some of these things that could cause an impact would probably then cause the impact because they've now affected the APR. That doesn't happen very often, but one example I thought of was in a case where there was major issues found on a walkthrough and an additional seller real estate closing cost credit was given to the borrower, and we didn't have enough closing costs to use all that credit up. So the choice would be to pay points with that credit to offset to use the rest of the credit. Well, the paying of points could potentially impact the APR, which would then cause a 3-day waiting period. So just keep that in mind. Look, we're going to learn more about this, and really the way we're going to learn about it is by doing. But the most important thing is you as real estate agents and us as lenders and title companies who are involved in a transaction need to be advocates for a smooth process from day one. What do I mean by that? We all need to let customers know that when we ask them for something, to facilitate the transaction, we need an immediate response. We need everyone to be working as diligently as they can to get the information to us in a reasonable time so that we can move through to a smooth transaction. To help you understand some of this, I am doing 2 TRID trainings for realtors, one on June 18th from 1 to 3 o'clock here in my office in the 9th floor in our large conference room, and another on June 19th. I believe it starts at 9 o'clock. And I want to invite you to attend one of these trainings. If you're interested, please reach out to me via phone or email, and I'd be happy to get you information for the day you're interested in. Thanks for listening. Please forward this to any real estate agent that you think might benefit from it, and I will talk to you next week. And if there's any new changes, I'll certainly let you know about it. Have a great weekend.